How about a little wellness for your Wednesday? Now, late last year, the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, said it was removing the black box safety warnings from all hormone therapy creams, pills, and other treatments prescribed to ease the symptoms of menopause and perimenopause, which might lead to some questioning. Why were those labels there, and are they actually safe? So joining us for today's Wellness Wednesday, we have Dr. Boishoud and Dr. Sanders of Siteman Cancer Center. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I was saying this is really a topic that you're hearing a lot of people talking about online is menopause, perimenopause, how to help with those symptoms. And part of it is because there are these warnings and now they're gone. So what were these first black box warnings?
So these black box warnings first came out in the early 2000s, and that was in response to a study called the Women's Health Initiative that was run in the 1990s. And what that study showed is that there was a concern for an increased risk of invasive breast cancer, stroke, and blood clot. And so as you can imagine, because of that, they put that black box warning onto those medications. Now that was applied to all hormonal therapies, regardless of the route, the dose, et cetera. So we know that from that study, that was just one dose, one type of hormone, and it was in a population much older compared to the women that we prescribe to traditionally today.
Okay, so going off of that then, we have these labels, they're now being removed. So what are we finding out, and why are these so important to be able to offer to women?
So we're finding out that these medications are actually quite safe to give if it's given in the right patient at the right dose and at the right time. So there are of course going to be certain contraindications to these medications, but as Dr. Boishoud can tell us, they're very beneficial for these women that are going through these changes.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that. Let's back up here. So let's talk about hormone replacement therapy. We're hearing a lot about it now, just the importance and what it really means and does.
Yeah, so hormone therapy is giving back a little bit of estrogen after menopause to treat menopausal symptoms. And primarily they tend to help the most with hot flashes and vaginal dryness. Because if you can imagine, if we treat those symptoms, we get effects on sleep and energy and just a quality of life improvement in general. Most of the time, the estrogen is prescribed via a patch or a pill form. And it often needs to be prescribed with a progesterone to protect the lining of the uterus as well.
Okay, so now that this label's being removed, what do you foresee happening? Are more women going to be able to get this and also maybe perhaps feel more comfortable with this?
Yeah, that's the hope. These types of labels can cause a lot of anxiety and fear and can really cause a barrier to get therapies that a woman might need. Menopause is different for everyone. There's a subset of people that don't have any symptoms at all. There's people that have symptoms here and there and they're not super bothersome to them. But there's definitely people with severe symptoms that, every day they impact their work, their relationships, mood, sleep. And especially in this subset of people, hormone therapy can be really beneficial.
Yes, and so that's what I'm glad we're doing this and having this conversation to maybe ease some of that anxiety, because it's like, wait, what happened to the labels though? Weren't these bad? So what would be the next step then if a woman is watching this, what she needs to know if she's interested?
I do think that there's just a lot about hormone therapy on social media and online, and it can be really hard to sift through what's actually accurate and what might be applicable to you. So I definitely recommend, if you're having menopausal symptoms, to just talk to your OBGYN about your individualized risks, your potential benefits from hormone therapy, and whether it might make sense for you.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you both so much for joining us today and for a little women's health moment on this Wellness Wednesday. And I love that note about social media, because I was even saying, I've been hearing a lot about menopause online. I don't know about my algorithm. All that information is right there on your screen. And of course, as always, yourdiseaserisk.com is a great tool with Siteman Cancer Center. You can learn more, kck.com/show.